My name's Greg Heisinga. I brought my 75 Jeep Cherokee to do drag week with. It's converted to two-wheel drive on a 67 to 72 Chevy C10 frame. Got a no-limit wide ride front suspension and coilover conversion on the back, still trailing arm. It's got a modern Hemi with a 66mm turbo, a TR6060 6-speed stick, and a full floater 9-inch out of an old Cup car. 2017, I had a red one that was very similar to this, same drivetrain, but original paint, weathered patina truck, and that was in an accident in July 2017 before drag week, so I wasn't able to make it last year. I'd really like to go 10s every day and make it into the 32 of Street Machine Eliminator. It's been 1050 at 130, and it would be nice to run close to that all week, but man, if it runs 10s all week, I'm the happiest guy here. This is kind of what I drive most everywhere. I do all sorts of road trips with it, and the storage area in the back is huge. I have a spare clutch and flywheel, a welder, spare engine part for just about everything on it, tools, wiring, the whole nine, and it's not cramped. It's heavy, but it's very purposeful. Got all the turbo Mopars.
Everybody was.
People on the live feed are asking if this is the first time we have ever not required people to drive the specified route on drag week. And no, actually it was the second or third year when we had a rain situation. We'd driven from Cordova to Indy and it was raining and we had few enough cars that we took a vote and we all drove back to Cordova for the racing.
Street Machine Eliminator. Street Machine Eliminator, the lanes are closed. Street Machine Eliminator, staging lanes are closed. What that means is you have to wait in your pit to come back in again. Street Machine Eliminator, wait in the pits. You will be able to make another run if you would so like to do during the third session, but Street Machine Eliminator, lanes are closed.
So Johnny Lindbergh gives me the information that 57 Chevy wagon, they're at Noonan's shop working on the EFI and putting some mufflers on.
Greg Hazenga is manually shifting that Jeep down the racetrack. Meanwhile, Robert Patterson has the lift early in the Fairmont. Patterson goes 1170 at 73 miles an hour, and Hazenga 1084 at 128. I think that's a boosted Gen 3 Hemi in that thing.
I can't recall. Is that the one that we saw last year that was body swapped? It's on a different chassis.
I believe
it is. I can't recall what it is, though. Should be a shock to no one.
Lynette. So we have the body swap Cherokee, rear-wheel drive. I believe it's a Gen 3 Hemi with boost. And we have the Shadow coming out of the water box, another of the front-wheel drive turbo Buick group that travels in packs. That is Pat Culkin in the 88 Shadow and Greg Hazenga in the 1975 Cherokee.
The Cherokee S. I love the factory graphics stripe on this thing. It looks like, a Indian blanket or something like that, a Native American blanket.
Gear jamming fun over there for Hazenga. And 1062, 130 miles an hour for Hazenga as Culkin goes 1142.8 at 115. They've not brought back the graphic, but you can buy a Jeep now with the white top and that blue paint with the white stripes. So
you can also buy a front clip that's an aftermarket unit for a Jeep JK that looks very, very similar to those early Jeep truck front ends. It's actually the one that has, I forget what they call the Rhino grill instead of the Razor grill. It's the one where it's just, a centerpiece that's chrome. Greg Huizenga here in the left-hand side with that Jeep Cherokee is the guy on the bump spot for the 32-car bracket race. His average thus far throughout the week, 1073. Doesn't look like there's going to be much of an improvement right now. This thing is a turbo Hemi with a stick. 1230, 127.
we told that story yesterday, but she found the car and she wanted to get it back, and the guy who has it figured out who was trying to buy it and set the price through the moon.
She found that car?
Yeah,
his
she found
Land Speed car.
Yeah, her dad's. She wanted to buy her dad's car back, and the guy figured out it was her trying to buy it. And Greg Huizenga coming up right now, the 1975 Jeep Cherokee with its Gen 3 Hemi, its gear jam and stick shift, and Ian Christensen, the 1984 Honda Civic.
That Jeep taking a hard left off the line.
Yeah. 1168.3 at 127 miles an hour for the Jeep.
Which is not going to help him in getting in that ladder. That's a 10-second Jeep that just was off by a second.
slowly rolls down 15-13 with a 3 at 88.7 miles an hour. So now it is Dodson, that 8:46.9, too quick by just about 0.03 of a second. Dodson can't turn that slip in. It's got to be a 50. Once again, word on the street is the lanes will be closing at 2 p.m. sharp maximum as Greg Hazenga bang shifting that truck down the motor mile side as Bob Ruppel takes his Nova down the Fitzgerald side. 11:03.7, 122.96 for Ruppel, and Greg Hazenga goes 10:74.7 at 127.75.
We drove by while we must have been here. Back.
Yes,
Good morning, Drag Week. Attention in the pits. Here's the program for this morning. I understand there's a little bit of confusion. It's a little bit of an inverted program. We are going to run Street Machine Eliminator, the quickest 40 cars in Street Machine Eliminator first. We're going to do that so that you can hand in your time slips and we can establish the 32-car field for the bracket race later in the day. So the very first cars on track will be the quickest 40 Street Machine Eliminators. The bump is 1075. So if your weekly average is quicker than that, you're going to want to report lanes.
Hey, we made it, number 29.
29? We're 31.
So far, 31.
We're 31.
Well, good luck
we gotta
today,
get a good
guys.
pass in today.
Yeah, for sure.
We think we found the boost leak though, so fingers crossed.
Oh, perfect. Good luck. How you doing? Good morning. Cool.
Still here.
Yes, sir. Got a good group.
So I might have to spray from 60 anyway when it gets hotter, just to keep up with the time.
Mike Conforti is there in the G-Body Monte Carlo. It's an 87 model. Now, Greg Hazenga, whose name we've been mispronouncing all week long, he's been racing Jeeps for a long time. He used to run that CJ7 in the NMCA series. This is a 75 Jeep Cherokee. It's on a 67 to 72 Chevy truck chassis. It's got a turbocharged late model Hemi and a stick in this thing. And would you believe it runs 10s? Check this out. The Monte Carlo's got the far better reaction time and therefore gets to the big end first with a 1039 130. And that big heavy Jeep goes 1061 at 129 miles an hour. What is with that? Okay, we are back in action as Greg Heisinger goes off on the right-hand side in that violent Jeep Cherokee on the 67 to 72 Chevy truck chassis with the Hemi and the stick. And the wind is going to go into the opposite lane.
I can answer the questions from your here on the line. I get along pretty good with Monty. We kind of handle it. He questions about anything. So he's pretty good with whatever. But you didn't start pairings yet? No, I haven't yet. I'm trying to get a list of the cars that are in for sure.
And now we return to Street Machine Eliminator. I take that back. This would appear to be the stick shootout. Apologize for communication breakdown here near the end of the day. We're trying to get our act together with all these different classes running at the same time. This will be the stick shift shootout. Greg Heisinger in the left-hand lane, and yes, that Cherokee has a stick in it. Jason Trotter in the right in the front-wheel drive Dodge. We continue to just have timing issues. You saw me cut off there. That Jeep did not run 697 in the quarter mile. We have an issue with those lights up at the top end, even after we've unplugged the 1,000-foot light entirely. So we're going to be running the balance of this stick shift shootout to the 8th. We're going to go 8th mile rather than quarter for the stick shift showdown. Continue on to the next round of heads-up racing in our stick shift showdown. We got a late model Hemi with a stick in a Jeep. We got a late model Coyote with a stick in the Ford. John Puckett is in an 80 Fairmont. Greg Heisinger in the 75 Jeep. Looks like the Jeep has got the hood sealed. We do give an award here at Drag Week for quickest car with a sealed hood. You can run 10s all week long with a sealed hood. You're in good contention for that award. Oh, man, Puckett gets way out front of the Jeep. And yet the Jeep gets there first, running 7:27 in the 8th mile at 100 miles an hour. And the Coyote with a stick goes 7:96 at 90 miles an hour. As we roll back into the stick shift shootout, we appreciate Lonnie Grimm down there making all these races happen all at the same time to ensure minimal downtime. This is going to be a matchup between Kyle Beaumont in the 70 Cougar, the Freddie Cougar, Greg Heisinger on the right-hand side in the 75 Jeep. Getting word from gear vendors Rick Johnson in the pits that the snack bar is opening back up for our folks. Snack bar is opening back up. Thank you very much, Rick. Thank you, gear vendors. Thanks for taking care of the awards ceremony tonight. The Cougar leaves right out front, but it looks like that Jeep is going to chase him down, and that is a fact. 713, 100 miles an hour for the win in the Jeep, and that Cougar goes home 795 at 88 miles an hour. Here we go, Winningham and Huizinga, the 81 Cobra Big Block, the 75 Jeep with the late model Hemi. Just a few more cars to run, and then we're going to be wrapping it up, closing up the live feed, and moving on to our awards ceremony. Winningham pedaling it, but getting there first. Huizinga seeming to have a problem with the Jeep. Sure enough, Winningham is winning.